Welcome back, guys, to another On the Spot answer segment video where I answer the questions that you guys have sent to me. Next question comes to us from Lego Zombies with a Z. OTS, do you play video games? The answer to that is yes. Not as much as I used to. I really want to. The problem is I play video games that I can pick up and play a few, like a half hour to an hour of. Long games like Resident Evils, games that are really in depth where you have to spend a lot of time on them. I don't play them as much as I used to. I used to play them all the time. Even God of War I just don't play a lot of because I get home and I just don't spend a lot of time playing video games. I really want to fix that. Definitely want to fix that. Next question comes to us from the Flamingo Sun Limited. OTS, what do you do with the things you review when you're done reviewing them? Do you keep all of them? I keep the ones I really like. Those generally are put away in totes. I usually bag them up with the accessories and I put them in totes. Things that I am not necessarily wanting to keep, I give away to charities or friends. I give them to friends that have kids that, maybe don't have a lot of toys. I give things to them. I might sell a few things here and there. Next question comes to us from Star Even 123. OTS, are you a fan of The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit? I am. I found the problem with The Hobbit, and it's not a big problem, but I found the real big problem I had with Hobbit was the fact that having seen already the Fellowship of the Ring, the Two Towers, and then Return of the King, I felt like I was kind of just watching more of the same with The Hobbit. It wasn't bad. I mean, by any stretch of the imagination, it wasn't bad. But I think I've just kind of gotten my overload of Lord of the Rings. I like them, but I mean, even by the point that I was watching the Return of the King, I was getting really kind of just done with it. And the movie dragged, and I thought it was never really going to end. I mean, I like them, but it's something I really have to be in the mood to watch. As for the books, I haven't read the books, though. Next question comes to us from Robert. Did soon? Says, can you show us your collection? Not all of them, just what you have on display. 2, how old are you? Well, we'll answer the second one because I kind of already answered the first one. I am 34. I know I am getting old. Spot's getting really old. 3, what fellow YouTuber do you like to watch? I kind of talked about that one already. It can't be somebody who reviews things or has to do with collection. Somebody who doesn't review things and again, I really like Teddy Rubskin. He's entertaining. I really like Reckless Eating. Tiny Tim Rosshader, I really like him. He eats like a large amount of things. I don't know why I find that kind of entertaining. 4, have you ever cursed in a video? I think I cursed once in a video. And I don't remember what video it was, and it's pronounced did sin. Just in case you say the name of whoever asked the question. Okay, so it's from Robert Did Sin. Thank you very much, though, sir, for your question. Next question comes to us from Jason Voorhees. Very nice of him. He took time away from murdering campers and sent me a question. He says, OTS, favorite hockey team? I guess being that I'm Canadian, I should really say the Toronto Maple Leafs, even though they've never won a Stanley Cup since, the 60s. I truthfully don't follow hockey, though. None whatsoever. Next question comes to us from JM Kitty Fire. OTS, do you like Ghostbusters? Yes, quite a bit. I really like the real Ghostbusters. Even though Bill Murray is being a pain in the you-know-where, I'd still love to see Ghostbusters 3 get made, and I'm hoping they can finally get that off the ground. I love Ghostbusters. I would love to own a Proton Pack. Totally would love it. Next question comes to us from Zack Attack 578. OTS, how do you get all the stuff you review? Stuff that I've mentioned in the past, it's stuff that I've collected over the course of, say, 10 to 12 years. I've amassed a collection of things that I review. Newer stuff I might pick up in stores or eBay. Sometimes I get people give me gifts that I review those. Hopefully that answers your question all right. The next question comes to us from Marvel Rocks 411. OTS, have you ever picked up any of the new Return of the Marvel Legends? If you have, then could you review them? Surprisingly, I haven't picked up any of the new Marvel Legends. I thought, okay, if I could wait to get them in retail, because Canada is the worst when it comes to retail selection. If you live in Canada, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Also, Britain is notorious for bad circulation of figures too. But they have now started showing up in stores, retail stores. I think we're now getting wave 1 and wave 2, but you get like one figure here, one figure there. I mean, they're Walmart usually carries like one wave at a given point. Like one case. We're literally talking one case. So like if somebody buys the rare one, my Walmart at least will just have every other figure there sitting indefinitely until they either all sell or they clearance them down. That's usually how retail works, unfortunately, in Canada. Toys R Us is bad for that as well. Like Toys R Us will stock DC Universe figures. They've stocked the Necron wave for the longest time. They just don't sell because they're charging like $20 a piece for them. That I guess their logic is, oh, well, nobody's buying the DC Universe. We just won't stock anymore. So that's why these lines just sit and sit and sit, and we don't get anything new. I'm putting my hands up against my face here. The next question comes to us from Jason Simone. OTS, what do you think of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie? I haven't seen it again, but it looks all right. I don't know. I probably will wait for it to come out on DVD before I actually watch it. Also, your thoughts on the Evil Dead movie now that the trailers have been out. And a side note, thanks again for the 2 hockey masks, which I sent Jason. You are, sir, are very welcome, and hopefully you enjoy those. The Evil Dead movie, I'm not really sure what I think of it. I'm honestly not too sure. I just don't... I think, unfortunately, without having a main character in it like Ash... I mean, even if they put Ash in it, people would just say, oh, it's not Bruce Campbell. I mean, that's the problem that they do with all these remakes. Oh, it's not the original actor. I think by the fact that it just seems... Evil Dead was very distinct for its time, and I think by having an Evil Dead now, it will either try to outdo itself by being so over-the-top gory that it just will turn me off, because I just don't want to see gore and just butchering for the sake of it, you know, if you know what I mean. And I just think that Evil Dead, it's going to be a remake that's going to come and go, and maybe like 2 years from now, people are going to forget all about it. Unless they do another one, I don't know. I don't really know how I feel about it. It, to me, seems like it's almost too late to do an Evil Dead movie, and by the fact that they don't incorporate what looks to be from the trailer, no Ash character, it just seems like it's going to be yet another same old kind of movie. And I don't know how I mean by that, but it just seems like it's just going to be another dark, grainy movie where people are freaking out, the camera's going to be moving like this, and it's going to come and go, and people aren't going to remember it. I don't know. That's my thoughts. I mean, if you disagree, by all means. Next question comes to us from Scar12394. OTS, what type of movie genre would you prefer to see for 1 year straight? I guess I probably would say comedies, because I love horror movies, but I don't know if I could watch a horror movie every single day for an entire year. I think after a while that would be pretty depressing, or that would probably like just freak me out too much. So I'd probably say a good comedy, a good comedy 1 year straight. I think that would be, there's nothing wrong with humor. The world needs laughter, as Leonard Nimoy once said in a Simpsons episode. The next question comes to us from Bleach Freak 33. OTS, Spot, you said for many years you will show your face. So my question is, when? Someday? Moving along. Moving along. Next question comes to us from Mike Maffio. OTS, do you have one main collection? If so, what is it? As you know, Spot collects a multitude of different things. I suppose if anything, if the one thing I really collect more than anything else, I probably would say DC Universe figures, because I have a lot of the waves. I also really like collecting horror movie figures. But as you know, following this channel, I collect a lot of things, which unfortunately means a lot of surplus of stuff sitting in my place. But Next question comes to us from the MMA Voice 1988. OTS, what are your thoughts on Injustice Gods Among Us video game? I will likely pick it up because I always like Mortal Kombat. I'm a little bothered by the fact that the character designs have to be so realistic looking. I really like Marvel Ultimate Alliance, the very first one. I love the idea of bringing heroes and villains together and forming your own dream team. I was really excited to get Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2, but I found the biggest problem for that game was the fact that they were all real-world designed characters. I wanted to see the characters in comic costumes. I didn't want to see them, you know, with the stitch marks, and I didn't want to see accurate-looking, realistic armor. I just wanted to see comic-looking characters, and I find that's the biggest problem with the Injustice Gods Among Us. Yes, it could be an alternate reality and all this kind of stuff, but I'm hoping, if anything, when we do get the game, there's going to be DLC for at least original costume designs. Sure, I'd love to play Batman and Superman and Green Lantern, but I want to play them as they originally looked. Superman, the blue, the red, the yellow, classic attire. I don't really want to play as Superman, you know, looking the way he does. I don't really want to play as Batman looking like he's all just armored up. I want to see classic costumes. So I'm hoping that we're going to get DLC for that. Because, I mean, even like Harley Quinn in the game, is just, I think she's just got ponytails. I want to see the original costumed Harley Quinn fighting in a DC versus game. That, to me, is interesting. That's interesting. Looking at the time, guys, I'm going to wrap this up here. Certainly stick around, guys. There are definitely still more more questions being answered as we resume on the spot. Certainly stay tuned for that, guys, and we'll see you then.